So, question is, if Muslims were to migrate from the West, which countries would you recommend?
Go back to the land from where your parents came. And if you are from British ancestors, then remember that Muhammad ﷺ was from Mecca, and he left Mecca. So if you have to leave Britain, you will be following the Sunnah. If you are from Pakistan, go back to Pakistan. I would love to go back and live in Pakistan myself, but I don't think the Pakistan Armed Forces will allow me to do that, because I'm hitting them very hard now. Okay? The normal Pakistani can't do it. It will be too dangerous for him. But I can do it, and I'll continue to do it. So I probably won't be allowed to enter Pakistan. But if you can return to Pakistan, many of my students in Britain have already done that. And they are building communities now in the mountains of Pakistan. Many of my students. And the mountains of Pakistan are so beautiful, you can't believe it. Why would you leave that to come and live here? Azad Kashmir is so beautiful, the greenery. If you are from Egypt, go back to Egypt. If you're from Algeria, go back to Algeria. And if you are from Bangladesh, go back to Bangladesh. I went twice to Bangladesh. I went only to the south, not to the north. I went down to Teknaf. The only thing you have to be scared about in Bangladesh is the way they drive on the roads. The way they drive on the road, yeah. I had a vehicle and we were driving to Chittagong, and he knocked down a bicycle and he never stopped. He never stopped. But the people of Bangladesh were so kind, so loving, so hospitable. It was a joy to be with them. So why don't you go back to Bangladesh?
People will say, I will stay in Britain and go back to Bangladesh. Because here, you can practice Islam more better than going into Bangladesh or some other Muslim countries. So my question to you, what are the other countries? Could be Malaysia or any other country. A Muslim can migrate from the West and also have a facility to educate their children into manners that we have Islamic living, daily basis, practicing. And this stuff. Anyone can go back to the country, but the country will be left. There's a reason, because you cannot practice Islam freely, you'll be suppressed, no education system will support you. So we're looking for a country that will support and welcome Muslims can live and practice the religion daily basis. I'm not talking about mountains. I can go to mountains, but how am I going to get to schools with my children to educate them?
What I ask you to do is I have a little book at the back, the Quran, the Great War and the West. Read that book and see what the Quran is saying of the fate which awaits the Western world, including Britain. And if your choice is to continue to live in Britain, or in Netherlands, or in Belgium, that's your choice. But I am saying to you that this is a ship that is sinking. And no one can prevent it from sinking. And when this ship sinks, it will take all on board and perish, they'll all perish. Allah gave you a mind with which to think. If you on board a ship which is sinking, and you cannot prevent it from sinking. That is the fate which awaits this civilization which is sunk in sin. If you remain on board that ship, you're very foolish. You've not used your capacity to think. But if you get off the ship, of course Dajjal will make it as difficult as he can to get off the ship. But if you get off the ship, you have a chance at least to get your wife to come off, to get your children to come off, your father and mother. At this time they're saying, son, we are staying here, you're not going to get us to leave. We are comfortable. Your wife is saying, you can go, I'm staying here. Your children are saying, Papa, you can go, we're staying here. So if you get off the ship, at least you have a chance of saving them. Once you remain on board the ship, everybody will perish.
So where is the boat not sinking, Sheikh? Which is not Bangladesh?
Dajjal comes with a river and a fire. But his river is a fire. And his fire is the cool waters of a river. So where on the face of the earth you see the green pastures, the green pastures are where you have the hard currency, the US dollar, the sterling pound, the euro. These are the green pastures. Because over here life is affluent, you're able to live in some prosperity. This is Dajjal's river. But this is in fact his fire. And over there where life is miserable, you can't even get a job. The money is worthless. People are suffering. And that looks like the fire. But that's the river. So I will go without thinking. I will not even I'll go close my eyes and I'll live in Indonesia. Because yes, Indonesia is miserably poor. People are suffering. And yet, I have never seen sweeter smiles, both from men and women. And you know, there's a difference of a world between a natural smile and the smile of a politician. You know that. The sweetest smiles I've ever seen in my life, both men and women, are in Indonesia, the poorest people. That's the purity of the heart. You look at the smile, and you know the heart. So too in Pakistan, in the villages, in the mountainsides, that's where you go when you want to make hijrah. Don't move from here to Qatar.